And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather, this YouTube broadcast provided by the National Weather Service. Hi, I'm meteorologist Peter Chan. It is Sunday, November 12th, 2023. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide, you can always go to weather.gov, and that'll bring you the latest weather information for anywhere in the nation. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. But taking a look at Alaska, this is where much of the action is happening across the country today. We have a storm front advancing along the west coast that'll be pushing inland tonight and during the day on Monday. Strong southeast to south winds ahead and along this front are causing high surf and elevated water levels that caused the issuance of advisories for coastal flooding and high surf. We are also having a number of winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings, and winter weather advisories that are in effect. I'll show you that map momentarily. And more snow is on the way for South Central on Monday, including the Anchorage Bowl area that is still digging out of a major early season snowstorm this past week. Looking at a couple of the FAA webcams this Sunday early afternoon, Kivalina, blizzard conditions. Winds have gusted there up over 60 miles an hour. Temperatures will be slowly rising up into the 20s tonight. Bethel has had a mix of precipitation, temperature pushing up there a couple degrees above freezing at 34 this afternoon, with winds gusting up around 40 miles an hour in advance of this strong west coast front. Looking at the current watches, warnings, and advisories, we have numerous warnings out. Blizzard warnings here along the northwest coast. We have high surf advisories along the northwest coast here into the north side of the Seward Peninsula. Coastal flood advisories for minor coastal flooding anticipated from south of the Bering Strait through Nome, east through Gullivan, down along the east side of Norton Sound into the lower Yukon Delta. Very brisk southeast to south winds that'll turn southwesterly once that front pushes inland early Monday. Now, these areas in red are winter storm warnings, southwest slopes here of the Brooks Range, including the Noatak Valley, Ambler, over toward Bettles, south through Tanana, McGrath, on over toward Anvik. And within this area, snowfall amounts could range from 4 to 8 inches, locally 12 in locations that get some orographic enhancement when you have a south wind going up higher terrain. So a potent front that'll be working its way inland. As this front crosses the Alaska Range and then into the western Gulf, a secondary area of low pressure is going to spin up here over the north central Gulf by midday Monday. And as the front works its way across the Mat-Su Valley and Anchorage, we're going to see another burst of snow. Not as heavy as the past week, but a quick 6 inches of snow could fall within the Anchorage Bowl, with locally higher amounts of 8 to 12 inches up along the eastern hillside, and areas up through the Susitna Valley easily picking up another 4 to 8, locally 12 in some locations where, again, southeast-south flow of air tends to enhance the precipitation. And then we have blizzard warnings for Whittier and for Thompson Pass for about 6 to 10 inches of snow latter half of Monday morning through Monday afternoon. As that low takes shape here over the north central Gulf, some very strong winds will also tend to blow that snow around, creating blizzard conditions at times during the day on Monday. But here are some of the peak wind gusts as of early this Sunday afternoon. Cape Lisburne, those are hurricane force winds, 85 mile per hour wind gust. Wales there at the Bering Strait, 73 miles an hour. Point Hope, 68 miles an hour. And Kotzebue has had wind gusts up over 60 miles an hour. Nome, 46 miles an hour, though likely some stronger winds have yet to come as a result of that front pushing across the Seward Peninsula. So that is what is causing not just blowing, drifting snow, blizzard conditions, but also those surf advisories, high surf advisories, and coastal flood advisories for minor flooding. Some of the water levels could run 2 to as much as 4 to 5 feet above normal high tide there, especially the south side of the Seward Peninsula and in through the northeast corner there of Norton Sound. So the blizzard warning for Whittier and Thompson Pass, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Winds could gust out of the north there at 35 to 50 miles an hour at Thompson Pass as we go through Monday morning and afternoon. Whittier, We expect blizzard conditions at times, accumulation 6 to 8 inches with west winds gusting 35 to 50 miles an hour, and the bulk of that snow falling in the morning through around noontime. So the other thing to point out too, with that burst of snow expected in Anchorage, we're thinking heaviest snow will fall across the Anchorage Bowl between roughly 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. It could be a quick 5-6 inches just in that short period. That could really hamper ground travel given the recent snowstorm, and air travel causing flight delays or cancellations. So stay tuned if you have folks flying into Anchorage and then have to get out from there. Looking at the satellite imagery though, here is the deep low here out over eastern Russia, central pressure just below 970 millibars. That low is going to track up toward Wrangel Island. And with this arcing front ahead of it, this front is going to push inland and across the Alaska Peninsula. And as that energy, there's a secondary piece of energy that's going to come out into the northern Gulf, and that's going to tend to enhance some of the precipitation up here through the Copper River Basin and the winds. That's why Whittier and Thompson Pass have that blizzard warning in effect during the daytime on Monday. So looking at the current weather map, there's the low center down around 968 millibars with the front occluding and working its way through the Bering Strait, approaching the Yukon Delta and then passing through the central Aleutians. By early Monday morning, we anticipate the front to be already pushing into the central interior with gusty winds and bands of moderate to heavy snow. And then the secondary low trying to take shape here just along and off the Kenai coast. And by Monday afternoon, we have the low centered here out over the north central Gulf along the coast there. And snow pushing further east across the southeast interior, Wrangell, St. Elias Mountains on over toward Yakutat, along with some gustier winds. Back to the west, we have a cold front coming in off of Siberia that will moderate as it crosses the Bering and weaken to more of a trough here as we go into Tuesday. And then a warm front taking shape along and south of the Aleutians. That's the next area of low pressure. That low pressure is going to track across the lower Bering toward the southwest interior and move inland into the southwest interior Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So we have another system that's going to be moving across the area and bring additional winter weather concerns, at least keep the pattern active here across areas of the southwest, Alaska Peninsula, south central here going into Wednesday and Thursday. So stay tuned to later forecasts there. And the system that's continues to work its way east will bring rain and rain-snow mix to areas of the Panhandle on Tuesday. So looking at temperatures coming up here, readings should generally be above freezing along the outer coast of the Panhandle in the 20s. Inner channels, 7 above Glen Elm, because there actually may be a pocket of partly cloudy skies allowing temperatures to fall off faster, but clouds are going to be rapidly increasing this evening from west to east. As that front approaches, we expect snow to be breaking out here, Mat-Su Valley, Anchorage Bowl, sometime after midnight and shortly after midnight. And then temperatures Monday afternoon are expected to stay below freezing, especially north of Anchorage. May get up near freezing in Anchorage itself, but that warm air gets pinched off and then that low forms right out here over the north central Gulf. Temperatures will recover into the mid 40s, say along the outer Gulf Panhandle here along the outer Gulf coast, and then up to about 45 at Kodiak City. And Tuesday morning lows could dip down into the single digits to near zero in areas of the Copper River Basin. Whereas temperatures should get well down into the 20s, maybe even some teens down into the Anchorage Bowl, as it can typically get colder with fresh snow cover and clearing skies. Still above freezing at Metlakatla on over toward Craig and Sitka. And then temperatures Tuesday afternoon are going to still be up in the lower 40s along the outer Panhandle, mid-30s inland from Wrangell on up toward Juneau and Skagway, and then for areas further southwest, temperatures Kodiak Island back out along the Alaska Peninsula still getting above 40. Now across the far north, temperatures, we're going to have this front working its way eastward, and it is bringing relatively modified Bering Sea air in and through the interior, so temperatures will actually bump up here the next couple of days. Lows could be still near zero, Arctic Village, but otherwise temperatures are actually in a number of areas may not get much below freezing along, say, the Seward coastline or lower Yukon Delta. And then as we go into Monday afternoon, notice we do have at least a little milder temperatures pushing inland back up around or a bit above freezing, right around, say, 32 to 34 degrees here into the western and southwest interior, though the colder air holds on a little longer here farther east across the Yukon flats. And then Tuesday morning still could be down near zero, say at Arctic Village, or single digits here along the Alcan border at Northway, but otherwise temperatures still in the 20s, above 20 here through the middle lower Yukon Valley, and just above 20 across the Seward Peninsula. And temperatures Tuesday afternoon will begin to kind of turn a little bit cooler again, but because that initial push of milder air just kind of washes out as it mixes with the colder air over the interior. Across the southwest, temperatures should generally be above freezing along the coastline. 20s farther inland, generally at right around 40 degrees through the eastern Aleutians. And then temperatures Monday afternoon will be in the upper 40s. There could be an isolated 50-degree reading at Dutch Harbor, and that's about as mild as the air will be. Tuesday morning, we expect lows below freezing across the southwest interior, Bethel on up toward, say, McGrath, and further up the Yukon. Areas down along the Alaska Peninsula, lower 40s, and then temperatures Tuesday afternoon. Look at this, 56 out there toward Dutch Harbor. There is warmer air off to the south. There's that other low that's going to be coming across the western half of the Aleutians, and then by the time we get into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, another low is going to be pushing up into the southwest interior. However, as we look ahead, November 18th through the 22nd, temperatures are expected to average below normal across much of the southern mainland, into areas of the Panhandle, maybe slightly above normal, along parts of the North Slope and Arctic coast, especially from Utqiagvik to Kaktovik. And then precipitation is expected to average near or slightly below normal across parts of south central and the Panhandle, back down along the Alaska Peninsula, with precipitation averaging possibly a bit above normal over the western half of the mainland, especially from Bethel on up, say, toward Bettles and Arctic Village north and westward.